I'm just still getting used to these. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I've put the speaker on. So you can hear me and you can see the screen's okay. That's great. As you can understand, I'm pretty new to this, so just want to make sure it's all okay. Well, nice to see you. It's a championship today, English League 1, English League 2, mostly to be sorted out via the in-play stats. Some obvious plays, of course. Leicester City. Rotherham might want to keep Hull very quiet. One thing I'm missing is my feed for the goals as they come in, but what I can do, I'm just going to set up my Proton so I can go to English websites. Slight delay, no problem, John, thank you very much. So let me just get this up onto UK time, and then I can make sure that I can get Football 24 up. It's not allowed in Thailand, so I have to get, now I can get Football 24 up here and make sure that you can all see as the scores come in. So we can choose our score lines. So let me work on this. English Championship, English League 1, English League 2, go away, thank you. English League 2, Czech Republic, none of the other smaller leagues in England, probably under 21, well maybe not, no. Let's focus on what we want to focus on. No Kuwait today, no. Portugal, Primeira Liga, maybe, yeah. Scottish League 1, can't research it. Well, we can't trade, it's too illiquid. But I'll put them up anyway. And we should have the Champions League here somewhere. There we go. So you can choose your leagues at the website. And we've already got a goal for Rotherham. A goal for early on. So a goal for Rotherham. Keep an eye on the in-play stats here. Don't forget they are 24th in the league, so they're likely to put up a bit of a fight today. Let me get the research up. I'm just going to save my doing Saturday's football. Brentford against Liverpool, Burnley against Arsenal. So let me just get this up. And we're going to get the research. So we just have a look at the Rotherham match, and hopefully I'll be able to hear it when a goal comes in. Stevenage against Bristol Rovers as well, but got to be purely reactive to them. So set up soccer24.com. Leicester have already scored, so I'm not hearing the goals as they come in, which is a slight problem. As you can see here, it's a slight problem. So let me just get my odds on list. Don't need Argentina today. Work our way down to England. So Leicester, no problem there. Hull, possibilities. Have a look at the Rotherham goal. They desperately need of points, so you never know at this stage of the season. These strugglers might be able to keep tabs on the big boys. West Brom and Cardiff odds on, mostly in English League 1. I think we need to collect our odds on. As you can see with the Shrews, Barnsley have drifted with a 2.05. 1.8 favourite Bolton, 1.62. I think I've already done these, so that's good. Peterborough is postponed. Normally a very good trading side, Peterborough have been this season. League 2, 1.65 Barrow. Well, Forest Green are gettable all day long, aren't they? Salford. So we've got some strugglers today, and I'm not going to go English National League or anything lower than that. Some postponements must be down to the weather. So that's all up. My games, hopefully I'll be able to hear when a goal comes in. Leeds have already got the opener against Swansea City, but it's the Rotherham Hull match which is of most interest so far. I've got a bit of problem not hearing my speaker, because it should be Railtic audio, so I can hear. Let me just do a quick check. So I want to make sure I can hear this. No, I can't. Okay. So excuse me for a sec. Yeah, something is up. Right, so we're going to have to be reliant on this today and just scanning. So Rotherham and Hull. Let's have a quick look. Only 3 wins all season for Rotherham, failed to score in 3 of the last 4 matches, so really no draw for Hull since the 28th of November. No draw in 13 and 5 away. They've scored in the last 4 away and against 17th and lower. 8 win. Oh, I can hear it now. Brilliant. Good. That sounds like a goal coming in. Excellent. That's the sound I wanted to hear. And that's also a sound I wanted to hear as well, because there's been a goal in an odds-on favourite match, Stockport and Crewe. And it looks like we've got a possible play here with Stockport and Crewe as well. So let me have a look at Stockport and Crewe. Should be English League 2, I think. So let's get some interest. So I'm just collecting them at the moment. Just want to see a reaction from the in-play stats initially. And we've got another goal coming in, as you can hear there. Evens favourites, Tranmere already leading. Mansfield catch the eye early on. And we've got another odds-on favourite goal. So it's getting up and running. And it's Leeds already 0-2 up. Boy, are they buzzing at the moment. Okay. So the Rotherham Hull will be of interest. Just going to wait for Hull to warm up a little bit. But what you can do initially, if you fancied it, we can go off to the match and just take your insurance out. If you're indecisive about any play, so you could just get the num lock. There we go. Okay, lay over 1.5 goals straight away to win the amount of money you want to play with. Okay, now we can take the insurance out at its lowest point after the goal. That way we can just wait to see whether Hull turn up, and if they do turn up, we're going to get better odds about the +1s or better odds about the match odds, and we won't lose much if we get a Hull equaliser in between. You're only going to be losing £4, so it's well worth doing your insurance. Mansfield are looking pretty hot in English League 2 at the moment. Stockport and Crewe again, we're just waiting to see whether Stockport turn up. It's a top 3 clash, this one, so it could be tighter than the odds suggest. This is John's AI thing from earlier on. I downloaded it, but I'll get rid of that today. It's just a bit of a distraction there. Mansfield already scored. Well, as you saw with the in-play stats, that was expected. We could have played half-time market, but respect to the in-play stats there, I suppose. QPR under 21s, if you fancied this, just based on the in-play stats in the Development League, see whether it's tradable. QPR under 21s, no, doesn't look like they are available today. But it would be interesting to see whether they get an equaliser, won't it? QPR under 21s. Well, I might look under 21 and see whether you pick up a match that way. There we go. They're under Queen's Park Ranger under 21. So if you fancy this one, lay over 1.5 goals. See what QPR +1 looks like, because their in-play stats are suggesting we have a go. What do the QPR +1 look like? Well, 1.56. You could go match odds if you wanted. 20 quid there. And 20 quid there. I don't know what's wrong with the num lock. It's not letting me type. Let me try again. So 20 quid there for QPR. Back them in the match odds, because it's an early. Is it early in the match? I'm not sure. I didn't check, so we should have really done. Should have checked on this. It says 59 minutes. And lay Watford half stake as liability. Bit of a risk, given I don't know these leagues very well, but in-play stats are emphatic, and it's half time, so don't rush. No need to rush there at all. I didn't check that out at all. That's why it says 59 minutes. So Mansfield, no need to check on them at the moment. We're still looking for Hull to turn up. Rotherham could be very vulnerable today. Stockport and Crewe, just waiting for Stockport to see if they can do something as well. We move on down. Southampton were excellent against Huddersfield recently, coming from behind. And I get rid of all this Isthmian stuff. I don't want any distractions. English League One, again we've got to follow via the in-play stats. You heard a few of them earlier on. Salford and Doncaster, I think Salford a favourite, are they today? Yeah, so Salford in English League 2 will get onto the watch list. And very strong stuff from Leyton Orient, as you can see there. Salford under new management, and he's made a hell of a difference, so you might want to just get involved straight away because they've got home advantage. So Salford could be one to really have a go at. Got lots of goals coming in, and there it is already. Damn, didn't get there in time. And under new management, Salford, and you saw their recent run against Donny. Well, recent run with the new manager, and we were too late or not quick enough to get that equaliser. What a pity. That was a really good trade, that possible trade. 19th in the league. Look at what they've done recently under this new manager. Really, really good stuff. That's what would have got me excited there, but didn't get there in time. What a pity. Just waiting for Hull to do something. It's very early in the match. I've got the insurance covered on Hull. Nothing doing from Stockport yet, but this is a top 3 clash. Look at Leyton Orient. 6 shots off, 3 corners. Do you think they'll do what Mansfield did? Well, let's have a look at the half-time market. So I'll just get this saved. There we go. So we're looking at, I've forgotten now already. Leyton Orient, that's it. So normally I would have Football 24 up on my telephone, but it's just out of battery at the moment. That's why you're hearing it in the background. So half time would be a possible option here if you fancied a Leyton Orient breakthrough. Their in-play stats are excellent. So I'd normally, like we did with Arsenal, look at the 1-0 and even go to the 2-0 and any unquoted in case they go a bit goal crazy. I normally do variable profit Dutching for this. So start at the bottom at the bigger odds at 44s, so you can have a bit of fun with the 44s. If you can keep your liability to about 11 quid, 12 quid, 5-5 is pretty much standard for the 1-0. This is making an assumption that Leyton Orient won't concede though, so it's a bit of a risk because they're not red hot favourite. I'm just doing this based on the in-play stats, a bit like the QPR under 21s. So that looks reasonable enough. We're not aiming for the 1-0. We'd like the 1-0 so we don't lose any liability. This is a bit sticky because I'm using virtual private network. There we go. So that looks alright for Leyton Orient. Let's just catch up with the goals. They look good, don't they? 6 shots off 3 corners. Any other goals coming in? Edinburgh City will get rid of Scottish League 1. Don't want to bother with that. West Brom have scored first against Cardiff, and the Champions League is just beginning. FC Copenhagen should be well out of their depth. Season hasn't even begun in Denmark. So second half has begun. QPR under 21s. I think I might pass that on to Telegrammers if they fancy it. Live stream on now at the moment. QPR under 21s look excellent. I would back QPR under 21s and lay their opponents in the match odds market. You could lay over 1.5 goals as well to cover the 0-1 scoreline. Do pay attention if you wanted to see all of these plays, come to the live stream at YouTube. You've got all the details at footballtradingprofits.club, and I've put the detail above for you as well. Do please come along if you can. Right, so we're waiting for QPR under 21s. Look at Leyton Orient, possibility of that goal before half time for them as well. We're just waiting on Hull, just the 1 goal for Hull as well, isn't it? That's probably Mansfield's 2nd goal. Norwich have scored first against Watford, having a great season at home, Norwich. And we've got a disallowed goal for Leipzig, which would have been rather nice. Real Madrid are missing the big man, Jude Bellingham, today. That's going to be an absolutely huge miss for them today. Jude Bellingham. That's the West Brom Cardiff match. I think West Brom were favourite here. Indeed they were, yeah. So no shock there at all. Salford, a bit gutted with that one. We could have got that one. The new manager is really getting a good tune out of this Salford team at the moment. So let's just have a look through the stats. Anything catch the eye? Well, Leicester are leading. Norwich leading odds on favourite. Relegation 6-pointer Birmingham and Blackburn. Leeds already dominant force against the Swans today, so unlikely to get any action. I would welcome a Bristol City opener today, but they only tend to lose 1-0 to the big guns. So watch out for what could be a potentially tight match for the Saints today. Exeter 13th. Look how they've shot up the league just with a couple of wins. Extraordinary. They used to be in the relegation threatened part of the league. Derby are second, so this could be a relegation and promotion 6-pointer. Really, both sides desperate need of 3 points for different reasons. Although they're 13th, it's probably only a few points to the relegation zone. Another goal coming in. National League I'll get rid of. I don't want to be distracted by the National League and Mauritania. There's plenty of goals coming in. That'll be Forest Green scoring first against Barrow. That could be a potential play. They've been gettable all season, Forest Green, so we're definitely a match of interest there. That's what that will be telling us. Forest Green opener, Newport County and Notts County. Yes, definite interest there I think for Forest Green. So we'll keep an eye. Yeah, Barrow are looking quite good, aren't they? So let's have a look at that one. Forest Green and Barrow. So as ever, take your insurance out and have a look at, well, don't take it just yet. This could be, that's more like it. Laying over 1.5 goals with the amount you want to win. Okay. Then just see what Barrow +1 is like. If it's okay, I will stop there, given the league. Well, I quite like that relative to who they're playing. So I'm going to stop off at Barrow +1. But you could go match odds market. I could show you the match odds market as well. So let's hope that gets saved. Match odds if you fancy, because the goal came so early. Now I haven't done any research on these leagues. I'm just going by reputation for Forest Green. Remember, we got a 23-1 winner, Newport County, the other week. So you'd be backing Barrow if you wanted to. It's either or. You either do the +1 or you do the match odds. So there we go. That's if you want a bigger return, but bigger risk, of course, because you will ideally need a Barrow goal sooner rather than later. So that's one to pass on to Telegrammers as well. Problem is doing it this way is I can't see the screen, so that's a bit better. Barrow 0, 5 goals. You've got two options. You can go Barrow +1. The odds are pretty good relative to the market and relative to the opponent. Or you could go match odds, given the goal came so early. Back Barrow and lay Forest Green half stake as liability. As ever, if you want to see this placed in the actual markets for you, then go to the YouTube channel and watch the live stream, which I've got on at the moment. So I think that's a good play, Barrow and Forest Green. Could you elaborate, Gordon? If you could elaborate, I don't know what the problem is if you don't elaborate. Not sure what's happened to the vocals. I can't hear myself, Gordon, so you'll have to elaborate on what you've written, otherwise I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Can you hear me? Firstly, you could please acknowledge me, otherwise I don't know if you can hear me or not. Hello, Gordon. Please elaborate. Can you hear me? Can everybody else hear me? If you could please give me a quick yes or no in this chat, otherwise I don't know. When I checked, I don't understand what you're saying. A bit echoey. Right, that could be down to the settings. So put the speakers down. Is that better for you? Okay. Thank you very much, Gordon. Everything's okay now. Is that fine? Please do bear with me. I'm completely new to this Streamlabs. I'm sure after we've done a few of these live streams it will be second nature to me. I just have to make sure the settings are right. I'll put the speaker down, so hopefully Gordon's okay and everybody else is okay. Vibrating, echoing. Well, is that echoing for anybody else? Is it echoing for anybody else? Yeah? No? Is everything okay with everybody else? I've turned this off. I can't hear myself back, that's the problem. Maybe I'll put the speakers down a little bit, like that. It might be okay for you. I'm afraid I'm not a techie or anything else, so your quick responses would be appreciated to make sure that everything's okay. I've turned the volume down a little bit on the speakers. I am using the Yeti. Okay, thank you very much. I can't hear myself, so I don't know what the problem is. I have to rely on yourselves. So it'll come with time, so if you please bear with me. Gillingham and Swindon, been a goal there. Who has scored first? Well, the underdog scored first, so Gillingham and Swindon will be of interest. So let me just get that one up. English League 2, Gillingham and Swindon. Yeah, I do apologise, I can't hear myself, so I really don't know what the problem is or how to fix it. So I'm sure you don't want me checking this out all the time. Maybe if I put these down a little bit. This is all brand new to me, so I hope everything's okay. As long as you can hear me straight away and it's not too bad. Vibrating and echoing. Right, we've got a suspended market. Looks like we've got a Barrow equaliser against Forest. Barrow equaliser. So check your positions. If you went +1 and if you went match odds, you'd be quite happy with a goal before half time in the match odds section. Audio input. Sounds better after you did that last. Oh, thank you. Excellent. I just took these away from being 100. Just down, so hopefully that's great. Thank you very much for your feedback there. That's excellent. Thank you, John. Thank you, Bosun, and thank you, Gordon. I hope everything's a bit better for you now, Gordon, and it's not vibrating and echoing. Remember these sources, so that's good. So Barrow, you should be seeing a profit there if you want to take it, but do check out the in-play stats, see whether you want to stay in for a little bit longer. We've now got a Watford red card against QPR under 21s. That will already have produced a profit for you. So let's have a look. QPR. Oh no, Queen's Park Rangers. So if you need to find this, it'll be under Queen's Park Rangers, not QPR for some strange reason. So you should be seeing this could be the QPR goal. This could be the QPR goal after the red card, so we will wait and see on that. I don't know the under 21s that well, but hopefully we will. You can see the in-play stats and you can see the red card, so put 2 and 2 together and it should be quite good. Salford and Doncaster, if this is 1-1 at half time, you might want to lay the draw second half. Salford have been excellent under the new manager, haven't they? Look at those recent results, brilliant stuff from them. Still nothing from Old Rod. Hull, do you like what you're seeing? 2 shots on, 1 off and 3 corners. A bit of an improvement from Old Rod there. Got Emu out on the left wing. Let's have a look at that. What we did before with Rotherham and Hull, we actually took insurance out. So now you're going to get better return just by that delaying. I just wanted to see, because you're going to get a reply from Rotherham today. They desperately need points. Desperate. But Hull are in decent nick, so my insurance is already showing a profit. Hull +1, if it's reasonable enough, I can stop off there, and that's quite nice. £39.20 goes there, which is the stake I want to use. And I'll show you again the match odds element. You've got 2 options, either or, and don't forget John H's both teams to score no as well. That's also an additional option, particularly for early goals. It's a good option for early goals. 3.7 is a positive as far as looking for an equaliser is concerned, isn't it? Match odds, you divide your stake by 2. It would normally be £19.60, but I'll stick it to a standard 20. You would be backing Hull and laying Rotherham, but I would be a little wary about doing the match odds variant here, just because of the need for points for Rotherham. But I do like the reaction from Hull. I like what I've seen against Copenhagen. Well, there's a shock. Is it the divine ponytail? Oh, it's Kevin. It's Kevin De Bruyne with his beautiful new haircut. It's a lovely little haircut that Kevin's got now. Well done, Kevin, with your fantastic new haircut. It's likely to be a slaughterhouse for Man City today. Copenhagen's season has not even begun. What a terrible time for them to be this late into a Champions League match as well, without any competitive league football under their belts. It's likely to be a long evening for them. So let's look at our watch list. We're waiting for QPR to do something, but slightly risky. I don't know the leagues that well, the under-21s development league, but it is normally a league which is very good for goals, so I'm hoping that's the case. And that Watford red card, if it's an actual red card, you just have to be a bit careful with yeah, it is an actual red card. Just be careful with some of these in-play stat feeds. They can get the red card element wrong, so just do a double check on your red cards there. Hull, I like the look of, so I might pass that one on to Telegrammers, or see if we can wait a little bit longer. Gillingham against Swindon, 4 shots off and 6 corners. God, the goals are popping in today. There's that Leyton Orient goal before half time. Fantastic stuff. And if you followed me earlier on, you saw the in-play stats, didn't you? God, they're popping in like nobody's business tonight. Let's go to Leyton Orient. If you followed me earlier on, I know I spelt it wrong, but hopefully it'll pick it up. Yeah. Go to the half-time market. Half-time score. This is what I like when you're expecting a side to get a goal before half-time. 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted. You saw it with Arsenal. We made 130 quid or thereabouts with an Arsenal 3-goal haul before half-time. So we've got the 1-0 in the bag. That's a good news. But as you can see, it's a market which is fairly illiquid, isn't it? Only £220 matched. 2-0 would get us an even better reward, and it's still, there's some 10 minutes to go. 3-0 would be rather nice. So you've got the goal that you were searching, as long as they keep Northampton out, and this was down purely to the in-play stats. You can see that there with Leyton Orient. 2 shots on 8 off and 5 corners. Don't forget the half-time market is available to you. Indeed, John, Leyton Orient goal, good stuff. Thanks very much, Gordon. I'm glad the sound's a lot better. Thanks for your feedback there anyway, it's brilliant. It does help me make sure that the settings are correct for you all. So good stuff there for Leyton Orient. If you got involved in the pre-first half market, it's always an option when you see plenty of goals coming in like this, for example. Gillingham and Swindon, well, 1.8 favourite the Gills. They look quite good as well, don't they? This again is based purely on in-play stats for these lower tiers. I don't do the research on these matches. We can have a look at Gillingham and Swindon, see whether we get a Gills goal. Again, if you are a bit squeamish about these lower tiers, you can always place your plays in the half-time market. I don't like English League 2, it's a bit wobbly, but that's why we have to be reliant on A, the market, and B, the in-play stats. So have a look at the half-time score market. If you can keep your liability low, you can still benefit if you get a result. And 1-1 at 5.4 and 2-1 at 60s, that's not too shabby, is it? That will make sure that you've got skin in the game. If you're a little bit sceptical about playing English League 2, always consider, how can I lower my liability while still getting myself a decent return? There we go. So for example, 60s, you can have a field day with this, just in case something happens and Gillingham really spark into gear. You can really make a fortune on the 2-1. So you can up that. Look at this. We're already up to 50 quid for the sake. There we go. That's the problem with these markets. Can be a little illiquid, as you can see there. Okay, that's just dropped to 55. So that's a slight negative. And the 1-1, whenever you move yourself up, it's at 5.7, which is not going to be too much liability. We've got a suspended market in one of our games. We're going to have to catch up with the goals soon. So let me just... yeah, we've got another suspension. There we go, that looks quite good. Press submit. Where's 2-1? Yeah, it's back to 60s. So that's an option for you. We've got a suspended market, so it must be one of our matches of interest. So let me check. I don't know which one it would be. Derby have scored first against Exeter, who are having a good run at the moment. Let's just catch up with some of these. And that's a whole goal disallowed. That's a real pity. That would have been a nice goal before half time. Now, if you're using Football 24, I wouldn't really recommend it, because you have to leave there to go there. What I would recommend you do is you download the Android or Apple app. Have it on your telephone next door to you. The only reason I haven't got it on my telephone is my battery's being charged on my telephone. So this is the only reason I've got Football 24 up now. I don't normally go to this website because in Thailand you're not allowed to go to these apparent betting websites. So I've got, which takes me through London, so I should be okay. As you saw there, I've just got rid of the Mansfield match, and I'll get rid of the Leeds match as well. It looks emphatic stuff already. So it's a bit disappointing we didn't get that Hull equaliser. As you know, I hate VAR. You saw it with Ajax, didn't you? 98th minute goal disallowed. Oh man, absolutely gutted. Saints are warming up nicely. 1 shot on 3 off and 2 corners. Let's go through some of our non-watch list matches. I think we can get rid of Leicester already. Absolutely dominant force against Sheffield Wednesday. It was always going to be like that. The Owls very little to offer against top sides. Norwich already 2-0 up. 2.05 the favourite. Unexpected. There we go. That's what I was just about to say. Possibility. Oh no, Mystic Meg. There we go. 2-1 to Norwich. We missed the boat there. I was going to say it's not in keeping with the odds. 2.05 is not in keeping with a 2-0 before half time. And as you can see, Watford have just got into it. And you saw the 5 shots off target in a corner as well. Wigan have scored against Oxford. And we've got a goal for Cambridge against Pompey. Pompey have put together some poor performances of late. I think they'll probably be odds on favourite, Pompey, today. And how? 1.45. Which league are they in again? League 1 or 2? League 1. So straight to the in-play stats. Make sure you've got the Portsmouth in-play stats to hand. See what kind of a mood they're in. And it looks as if it's a deserved opener. So we're a bit unlucky with Hull. As you can see, really good response. You saw me delay because they weren't really effective earlier on. Now they've done what I call enveloped. They've enveloped the stats of their opponent. Rotherham have stayed static. Hull have caught them up, and they've got the better of the shots off and the corners, and they're just about to get the goal you'd suspect. Maybe before half time, I don't know. So that augurs well for us second half. I like what I'm seeing there. I like what I'm seeing from Gillingham as well against the Swans. Against Swindon, the only thing missing is those shots on target, of course. That's a goal back for Stockport against Crewe Alexandra. They're part of the watch list as well, but I wouldn't have necessarily played. But I suppose that 0-2 should have played. I don't know what's happening here. certainly at 0-2 you play. But it is a top 3 clash, so you've got to be a bit wary. Could be a derby style match, this one. Okay, John uses Vivaldi browser. You can pin flash score to the side of the screen, or you could open it in a second window and place them side by side. That's excellent. Thank you very much, John. I'll just bookmark Vivaldi browser. Thank you very much. So that's just something for me to download and have a look at. Thank you for that, John. Anything to help just clean up when you're trading. You don't want to be flitting like this to get the correct score. That's why this should be on your mobile phone. So we're getting to the half times. Champions League is a little quiet at the moment, as expected really. It's a tough competition to really nail. Hull are looking great, aren't they? Gillingham have got the goal. Got a shot on target. And Stockport and Crewe looks like I missed out on the knowing about the. No, it wasn't. It wasn't 0-2. I would have got involved at 0-2 definitely. Salford and Doncaster is probably one to lay the draw second half. Exeter and Derby. Exeter have been in excellent form considering where they are in the league. They've shot up to 13th. They were in relegation threatened places. Pompey we need to keep an eye out on. They have been underperforming against, well, away from home to be honest, against 16th and lower. They've had trouble scoring. You saw that with Cheltenham the other week. But at home they really should get something out of this. And we got the goal from Leyton Orient. Could do with a second, that would be excellent. And there's the equaliser for Pompey already. Damn. Calling it right. I was waiting. Should have played really. 1.45 at home. It's away from home that they struggle to score against these lower tier sides. So again, English League 1, English League 2 are really providing the goods today, aren't they? And we haven't done a spot of research on them at all. You just go by the pre-match odds, and we get to know the sides as we work week after week, which does help. You know what Forest Green are like, don't you? They're gettable. Even if they're leading 12-0, they're still layable. Let's work our way through these. Relegation 6-pointer, this one. So arguably be laying the draw at some point because a point is pointless. Got to take points off your near rival. Bristol City and Saints, we'll be looking at the Saints to do something today. But do remember, as I said in the research, you might want to back 0-0 pre-match. Bristol City's results against the top sides have only been 1-0 defeats. There's that, Northampton cocked it up, the bar stewards. This is the problem when you're not doing odds-ons. I normally do 1-0, 2-0, any unquoted for the odds-on. But if you did cash out at the 1-0, well done. But it would have been a losing play for me because I was waiting for that 2-0. You could, of course, go neutral, couldn't you? Don't forget that. Don't forget, if you don't want to be caught out by that kind of thing. Well, this is a Gillingham match. Doesn't look like we're going to see an equaliser before half-time. You could always go neutral, which is the first half goals. This involves both teams. So with the Leyton Orient Northampton match, you'd have made an actual profit by going neutral, which involves both teams. Look at Hull. 4 shots on, 7 off and 6 corners. Can they get the goal before half-time? We're already involved in the 90-minute markets. So let's have a look.
This market has been suspended.
These are probably all the half-times. So if you wanted to have a go in the half-time market, well, there's there 1.06. If you can get that again. Normally when you hit, don't forget, when you normally hit 100 plus, it's normally fun and games. So you could have a quick, well, that's probably half time. Definitely looks promising for the second half, that. 113 attacking pressure index, 4 shots on, 7 off and 6 corners. Second USB monitor would be a good idea. Indeed it would, John. Yeah. Second VAR offside goal ruled out in the Leipzig match. Thank you. I don't have a strong opinion on the Champions League, I'm afraid. Whoa, Copenhagen! Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen. That's not in the script for old Mr. Gladioli. Goodness me. And they haven't even had any competitive football. But this is the Champions League. It's deep in the tournament. Must be a penalty, I think. I would suggest it could be a penalty. Oxford and Wigan equaliser. So I've got Vivaldi, should be on its way. Well, I'll bookmark it anyway, John, so thank you for that. I'll have a good look at that. Could be very useful. Oxford and Wigan, was this an underdog scoring first? Pre-match odds, well, 1.91 equaliser, so I'm sorry I missed that one in English League One. Yeah, should have picked that one up, but I wasn't alerted to the opening goal. Salford and Donny, looks like we could lay the draw second half. The manager's getting a real tune out of Salford City, isn't he, the new manager? And it's a relegation 6-pointer again. You've got to take points off your nearest rival. When you see these 19th against 20th, 17th against 19th, lay that late draw. Leipzig and Real Madrid. Are Real Madrid going to pay the price for the absence of Jude Bellingham tonight? We will soon find out. Leipzig a bit tough to trust, but they do have home advantage. I wonder if the Saints will get anything second half. They did have a 0-0 at half time against Watford, and that ended 3-0, but that was with home advantage. 0-0 for Bristol City against Leeds recently, that ended 0-1. Don't forget about that. Yeah, I said it in the research. Huge amount of 1-0 scorelines for Bristol City, so no wonder it's 0-0 at half time. And if you did back the 0-0 pre-match, well done. So many 1-0 defeats against the top sides suggest they'll be set up to frustrate, as indeed they're doing now. So we're not going to expect the kind of Huddersfield-Southampton match today, that's for sure. So let's have a look at just some of the other matches. Man City are on top. Just want to check the Copenhagen goal. Was it a penalty? Was it? No, it's Maatsen from open play. That's fine. This is a lay the draw second half, surely. Man City scored their 2 goals at the weekend, I think, second half. So we've got a couple of possible lay the draw second half there. Pompey are looking good. Pity I missed that one out. And QPR and Watford, it's a good advert for insurance, isn't it? Laying over 1.5 goals, cover that 0-1. Despite what you're seeing, 16 shots off target, 6 corners, anything can happen in these lower tiers. That's where you do the insurance. So we're sitting okay with QPR Watford. Rotherham and Hull, we're sitting fine with that. We look well poised for an equaliser there. If they can continue this second half, it's one-way traffic, isn't it? Great reaction to going a goal down. Rotherham, as you can see, probably a 10-man defence at the moment. Desperate need for points. Birmingham Blackburn, as I was alluding to, one of those matches where you might want to lay the draw late on. A point will do them no good at all. And again, near rivals, get points off your near rival. Make sure Birmingham goes down if you're a Blackpool fan. Make sure Birmingham goes down. Make sure I take 3 points off Birmingham, so I've got more of a chance of them going down and not me. Same story with Salford and Donny, and it looks like Salford are very well placed here second half to get a result, but they did underperform a little bit in the last match with that 1-1 when they were showing similar stats, so a slight problem there. At half time I'm just going to pop off, get myself a drink, so I'll be back very soon. Watch out for possibility of Manchester City scoring as well. Will they do it before half time? Certainly a possibility of doing it second half. Anything else catch the eye? Well, will Saints score? Let's have a look at anything else. Cheltenham are looking good against 8th Blackpool. We'll keep an eye. 2.3 the favourite, but we'll just keep an eye because it's 8th against 22nd. So we've missed a few trades today, which is a pity, but look at Mansfield, absolutely dominant force there. And that's it at the moment, so I'm just going to pop off for a drink while it's half time. Get my half time orange segments and Lucozade, as I used to do when I played. I'll see you very soon. Okay, I'm back. Let's make sure the YouTube's working all right. Yeah, that's going well, this stream. Okay, so second half we've got a couple of possible draws to look at, so that I'm just going to get these on my watch list. Be Birmingham and Blackburn. Let's just wait for this to go up. Birmingham and Blackburn. Well, Birmingham are in pretty bad nick at the moment, aren't they? So that could be a possible lay the draw. Stockport and Crewe, no. Oh, excuse me. Salford and Doncaster, possibilities there. But they did draw 1-1 in the last match, Salford. So you might want to do some kind of looking after your liability. So just get these ready and waiting. The match odds. And the plus, that's it. Salford and Doncaster. This might not be over for Exeter. Will be interesting to find out. Portsmouth have come from behind. So the possibility of a draw there. It would have been nice for a 0-1 at half time, that, wouldn't it? But I missed the boat there. Get a goal before half time. Portsmouth possible. Top of the league as well. Desperate to go up without wanting to do any playoff heartache matches. To get them up in the match odds. Just taking a while to load. So you're going to get similar-ish odds, aren't you? About threes and lower. That's why laying the draw at half-time is so appealing. And Guy Briggs did some excellent work on the half-time stats. I'll see if I can dig them out in an email that he sent. Bristol City and Saints as well. This is an... you wouldn't be surprised if this ended 0-0 given what Bristol City have done. They just keep losing 1-0 though. They lost 1-0 to Leeds recently as well. That was a second half Leeds goal. They keep it very, very tight. So, as you saw with Almeria yesterday, 0-0s might not be out of the equation. So you might want to over delay here. Wouldn't surprise me to see a 0-1 Southampton win at some point. Barrow and Forest Green, we've got the equaliser. Leipzig and Real Madrid. Again, I'm not going to be playing Champions League, I'm afraid, unless you have a compelling argument. Copenhagen and Man City. These are one-off events. They're like international matches. I don't like them. You haven't got this backbone of form to work off. And tactics will play a huge part. But Man City did score their goals second half at the weekend. They've certainly got all the big guns up and ready. Kevin De Bruyne is scoring. 4.7, relatively high as well, so I don't know if you wanted to play, you could have gone the correct score route, the usual ploy, 3-1 any other away, or 1-3 any other away score, if you believe in those 1.18 odds. But don't forget, this is the Champions League. I think this is one of 2 legs as well, so it's not all over. 1-3 is at 5.2, any other away win is at 4.8, so the market has read my mind. Could that be the goal for Man City already before half time? And that sounds as if it is. So don't forget the 1-3 any other away win, and it looks like we're up and running for that. There we go. It was a matter of time, wasn't it, really, for Man City, but that one's missed, alas, which is a pity. Mansfield and Harrogate, well, we can say bye-bye to that. We don't have to monitor that one anymore. Newport County and Nottingham County, Notts County, sorry. 2.5 the favourite. We have done this in the past. We've taken on and 2.5 the favourite side leading 0-2. You might want to just have this for a bit of fun. I'll show you how I would approach it. Just going to wait for this to come up. Notts County. This is a bit sticky today because I've got a private server and a virtual private network. Newport and Notts County. So they don't always come in, these, but the logic is if it's 2.5 the favourite pre-match, then a 0-2 scoreline is totally not expected. 2.5 the favourite. Well, any scoreline is expected, to be honest, but you're expecting a tighter match. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you keep your liability to a tenner or thereabouts, and you can back Newport at 24s, which we've done in the past against Forest Green, and they have obliged. So they do have it in the locker to get out of jail. 24s is rather nice. If you can get that profit to over 100, then you've got some good good leeway. Keep your liability low because these are very speculative plays, these ones. So up to you completely. I might pass this on to Telegram, as just given the fact it is Newport County. So Newport County 0, Nottingham County, Notts County 2. Okay, let me just get that Telegram up. Newport County 0, Notts County 2. Both sides are 2.5 the favourite. Newport County, we have backed at 24s in the past, and they have obliged. They've come from behind and won. I've laid Notts County at 1.17, backed Newport County at 24s, looking for the possibility of Newport County coming back into this second half. 2.5 the favourite suggests we could see a tighter match than the scoreline suggests. We've got half time remaining. Newport County are at home as well, so that's an added bonus. Big odds, low liability, well worth a punt. So that's one to look out for. And again, a 1-2 from Notts County will really drop those odds from Newport. Barnsley 1-0 down at the Shrews. I've got this heart thing in the way. Can I get rid of that? 1-0 down at the Shrews, only defeat in 14 games. Thank you very much, Stephen. So let's have a look at Barnsley. Not sure which league they're in, so let me just yeah, this is 2.05 the favourite, so that's why it wasn't on my radar. But you've done your research, Stephen, so that's excellent. Thank you for that. And it's an own goal as well, Stephen. So if you fancied following Stephen in there, and again, I don't know, there's English League One, there we go. So Barnsley and the Shrews. So you do have to play stats when it's not an odds-on favourite. That's why it wasn't on my radar. But a good argument from Stephen and an own goal for the Shrews. I'll show you how we can possibly approach this one. Shrewsbury and Barnsley. So thank you for that, Stephen. Barnsley. So as ever for me, have to be an insurance to start, and then you can investigate. The own goal is another possible argument to give you a little bit of confidence. It's going to be quite high, the insurance, because we are at half time. Hopefully the other markets will also get a bit higher as well to compensate. So let's have a look at that. Barnsley +1, I would say it'd probably be about evens or thereabouts. There we go, look at that, Mystic Meg 2.16, perfect. So that's what I'm talking about. You're getting compensated with better odds in the +1 market for Barnsley. So thank you, Stephen. Not normally a match which would have been on my radar, and as you know, I don't research these leagues, so your input was very grateful there. Barnsley 4th in the league, Shrews are 19th. 1 shot on, 8 off and 2 corners. So a good defensive display from the Shrews in the first half. They can't buy a win of late, really, can they? They beat Northampton 0-2 away from home. But Barnsley win against Leyton Orient. Both teams have scored in the last 3 matches as well for Barnsley. So that augurs well as well. They were a goal down against Leyton Orient at home last match and scored 2 goals in the second half. So we've got possibilities there. So that's good stuff. We're waiting for the second half to begin. And look at this as far as insurance is concerned. Regardless of what you see in the in-play stats, isn't it great when you get a break even? So let me show you. Queen's Park Rangers. Come on. Taking a while to load.
This market has been
That's probably the end of the match, 95th minute. It's just a little bitty, the internet at the moment.
been suspended.
So hopefully your insurance has paid off here. Now you could do what we call a Paul Dunwoody. You could cash out of this in the hope that you'll get a late goal from QPR.
This market has been suspended.
I wonder if that's a late goal. It's probably the end of the match. Or is it the goal? What? No, Watford have made it 2-0. So that was a stroke of luck. You pretty much covered that, Watford. No, this is confusing me now. It must be a... No. No, that's right. Watford are winning. Yeah, so we were just looking... If we can get that late QPR goal, for instance, you'd make an £8 loss here. You'd make a £35 gain here. So that's an excellent idea of Paul's, just to try to double your money right at the end of the match. Got another goal coming in. 0-2 to Derby County. That's not really a surprise, is it? Playing Exeter today. Exeter have been in really decent league, but Derby is second in the league for a reason. That's another one of Wayne Rooney, Football Manager's, Football Genius's ex-clubs. He made a complete Horlicks of Birmingham. So second half's the beginning. We look good. We look well placed for Hull. As long as they can keep this pressure up. Don't forget they are playing 24th in the league, and you can check your live stream standings just to see the importance of that win for Rotherham. You've seen it, what it's done to Exeter, shot them up the league. So let's have a look at the current scoreline. Where are they? Can you see them? Have I got the right league? Not to worry. Let's not get distracted. Bolton have scored against Wickham.
This market has been suspended.
So we would be very grateful for a late QPR equaliser here. Playing 10 men as well, but they haven't had a shot on target second half. Only the one, 54 minutes. So a woeful performance really. But insurance is paying. Waiting for Hull. Oh, that's what I was looking at, wasn't it? Rotherham, 24th. I just couldn't spot them on this standings. More goals coming in, so we just have to check that. Oh, they're still going to be bottom. That's why I was looking up here a bit. But narrowing the gap, it's probably, I think they're going to be doomed. But if they can get the win today, at least they'll be within 9 points of 21st. But it's going to be a hell of an ask from here on in. Fleetwood and Reading. Fleetwood goal disallowed. Bradford 3-0 against MK Dons. We can get rid of that one, I think. To victory without taking insurance out. Hull 115 attacking pressure index, consistent pressure now against probably 10-man defence Rotherham, even though they look doomed, don't they? We're umming and ahhing about whether to take these draws on second half. Birmingham, Salford, and the other relegation 6-pointer, which I've lost. No, Salford and the Birmingham one, of course. Birmingham, Salford, Portsmouth, Cambridge as well. Possibilities of that draw ending. But if you delay, the longer you delay, the lower the draw odds, but the more likely as well that you might miss the goal that produces the profit. But trusting Salford after they come off the back of a 1-1 is a bit difficult for me. So I'm happy to delay there a little bit. And Southampton, will they score a second half goal? Don't forget Bristol City. You can see this in their recent form in the Championship. I'll just show you a visual so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Bristol City. They have been a very, very tough side to beat against the big guns. This is the importance of the challenge table when you're looking at your research. You need to be able to gauge how sides get on against different sides in different positions in the league. So here, what do you see here? 1-0, 1-0 defeat, 0-1 defeat, 0-1 defeat, 0-0. Then we've got a 1-0 win, one winner. If we can nick a late winner, Merry Christmas. That's why you're getting a 0-0 at half time. Rotherham are bottom indeed, Ashley, thank you for that. I found them in the end. I thought they would have moved up the league with those 3 points, because it shows you the league position as is, but they're, as you say, they're rooted at the bottom even with a win today. Portsmouth are looking good. You want to lay the draw. Salford, well, they haven't really added to their first half stats just yet. Got to let that one warm up. Birmingham and Blackburn and Salford and Donny, certainly these are draws very, very late on. We'll do a drip lay because 3 points absolutely crucial. You can have a look in English League 2 at Salford and Doncaster and the improvement that has occurred for Salford under this new manager. absolutely crucial. This new manager's making a hell of an effort, and so is Harrogate, it seems, against old Jane Mansfield. Wow. I wonder if we could lay. We're surely not going to see a 5-6-6 here, are we? Surely. So we're finally poised. We've got our positions in play. We're just waiting for things to happen. Birmingham 2 shots on 7 off and 5 corners. Nothing much second half yet. Gillingham have put together some good first half stats in reaction to the goal from Swindon. 1 shot on 5 off and 7 corners to 0. So good stuff, but nothing yet second half. Stockport, well, Crewe are looking good, aren't they? So I wouldn't necessarily be laying Crewe just yet. It is a top 3 clash as well, so there's no great shock that it's 0-1. And there's Leyton Orient. You could have laid that draw, I suppose, given the in-play stats they've had in that first half. And Saints are warming up ever so slowly, but it's going to be a tough one. Tough to break this Bristol City, as you can see. 1-0, 1-0, 0-1, 0-1, 0-0. Or they're going to win 1-0, 1-0. So, are they going to break through, Saints? If you think so, you back the 0-1 as late as possible. Oh! Got a Forest Green goal. So could have cashed out at the 1-1. If you did cash out at the 1-1, Barrow, remember, as soon as you cash out and take a green screen, anything that happens after that doesn't matter. Now you're in a spot of bother with Forest Green. So we'll have a quick look. So I didn't cash out, but if you did cash out, you would have been okay. You wouldn't have had anything to worry about. As you can see there, you could cash out of the +1 if you went in and just say to yourself, well, there we go. Or you could get involved again and load up again. So it's up to you completely. It's a 1-2 now, so you're going to move up to the next set of goals, which will be 3.5. You have to wait for these two to marry each other. It's getting a bit too much liability now, and trusting as well, because this is not going the way of the script. Don't forget it is a new manager for Forest Green as well, so that could see some kind of a change. But the pre-match odds, 1.65 favourite Barrow. So are you with the odds, or are you going to look at what happens in play and react to that? 3 shots on, 3 off and a corner. That's the Notts County 0-3. So our little plan hasn't come about there. It is risky. 2.5 the favourite. Just hoping that Newport County did what they did against Forest Green and get a couple of goals. They do have home advantage, but normally I'll play this 0-2 if the underdog is playing something like an odds-on favourite at home. That's more in keeping with how I would play it. Ooh, got some news on the telephone. So let's just head off to Barrow. Up to you if you want to replay Barrow. It's a bit of a risk, but as ever I would lay over 3.5 goals to cover the 1-2 and then load up again on the +1, or as I say, you can get out with that £12 loss. Don't be shy about taking a loss if things aren't going your way, particularly in these leagues as well. You could back Barrow +1 now at 2.44. Top it up to you completely. But that's the importance of deciding whether to cash out as early as possible, because then you don't have to worry. Looks like we can get rid of Derby County. Dominant 9 off and 8 corners for Hull. I'm just going to check my phone message in case it's something important. Excuse me for a sec.
This market has been suspended.
Well, it's nothing serious, so that's okay. So we've got another goal in an odds-on favourite match, and that's Stevenage and Bristol Rovers. Mansfield have made it 7-2 time, and you'd rather get 3 points than none. Does that make sense? Getting in when the pressure is on, i.e. 88th minute, something like that. You're desperate need of a win. Got to take 3 points off your nearest rival. But these two are looking okay at the moment, given I think there's only the 2 relegation spots in English League 2. And Man City and Copenhagen, what a pity. They got the goal before half time. And there's a Real Madrid goal against Leipzig. Again, I'm not personally going to be playing the Champions League. These are the first legs as well. So a defeat is not necessarily a problem. It's the first half basically. I'll take this off the watch list. Stockport having an awful time, and it is a derby style match. It's a top 3 clash, so no wonder they're doing well. Pompey we can take off. So don't forget, if you fancy the draws, it would be the Birmingham Blackburn, Salford and Donny, but for me, when the pressure's on, 85th 86th minute onwards, when you want to turn 1 point into 3. We're not seeing any additional stats either. This is a problem with trusting dodgy sides in English League 2. Shrewsbury and Barnsley, 4th in the league. Barnsley. Now this was Stevens' play, wasn't it? So we'll look on with interest here. It was an own goal for the Shrews, so that's a positive if you want to take them on. But we'll see whether, again, 19th in the league, desperate need for points. A bit like Rotherham, they're holding out so far. And indeed, 24th, Forest Green are holding out so far. Only the 1 shot on target for Barrow. It's Crawley and Walsall. Don't think we've got a play in that one. So let's just catch up with some of them which are not on the watch list, if there's anything interesting happening there. I think we can get rid of the Derby match. I can hide that one. Stevenage and Bristol Rovers, possible Desmond 2 standings. And then we can see for ourselves. So Stevenage are just outside of the placing, so the motivation to turn this into a win is huge, isn't it? It'll only add another 2 points, make it 56, but they'll be in the top 6. So that's the kind of motivation you're looking for. And we've got a possible play here. You know as well as I do, Bristol City, their wins against the top 6 have been 1-0s and a 0-0. They only tend to lose 1-0. This has insurance play written all over it, doesn't it? And there's a Desmond ending already, and it's not gone the way of Stevenage. But that's the beauty of a Desmond. It's a neutral play. Bristol City and Southampton is certainly of interest here. Just make sure you can see me and hear me okay. If you do have any problems, please let me know straight away in the chat. But this is certainly of interest, isn't it? We've already looked at how this Bristol City perform against the big sides. They make it extremely tough to get beaten. Now they're leading, and I've spelt Bristol wrong as well. That's probably why it's not come up. But certainly this has got insurance play written all over it. Now I wouldn't be too keen. I'm looking for a Southampton win, given the 1-0 defeats that City have had against the top 5. So it's a tricky one to call. So you lay over 1.5 goals with the stake you want to use. Hopefully Southampton +1 is a reasonable size. Could be maybe 2.1. That would be rather nice. But it's difficult to go into the +1, difficult to go into the match odds market here. Look at that, 2.2. I'm bang on the button with these, calling these today. That is perfectly reasonable. 1-0 on a couple of occasions against the top 6. They have scored first. I've laid over 1.5 goals to cover that 1-0 scoreline. If you want to see how it's done as well, go to that live stream at YouTube. And I've backed Southampton +1 at pretty decent odds of 2.24. But we know all about Bristol City against the big teams are very, very defensive. So I'm hoping we won't see a second City, because they haven't really shown that against the big sides, have they, this season. But we are hoping that Southampton will click as they have done against Huddersfield when they were a couple of goals down recently. So that is a match of interest. Fleetwood against Reading is another one of those to potentially target that late draw. Relegation threatened sides, both of them. Anything else of interest there? No, not really. An emphatic performance from Bradford against 6th in the league, MK Dons, with 3 wins in the last 4 matches. Do you smell something here? The odds are short enough. Let's have a look at Bradford. You never know, and it's worth doing, isn't it? Matches for the MK Dons. They're obviously not used to getting spanked like this. So let's have a look. 1.02. Surely 101. Yeah, got to get involved. Got to. There you go. That'll pay for the old Valentine's meal tomorrow. There we go, just have a bit of fun. So I'll pass this one on, I think, for sure. Bradford against MK Dons. Bradford 4, MK Dons 0. But MK Dons have had 3 wins in the last 4 matches. Their in-play stats are okay. Just have a bit of fun. Lay Bradford at 1.01. You never know. 1 goal from MK Dons could suddenly change the complexion or decrease Bradford's belief. 10 shots off target and 5 corners is pretty decent. I quite like that. So the watch list. Hull gone a little bit quiet. They were absolutely superb heading towards half time and just after half time, but they've gone a little quiet. This is your archetypal desperately need 3 points Rotherham, but I think they're running out of matches. But this would be a real scalp if they can get the win. And there we go, as if by magic, old Rod Hull turns up, passes the ball to Emu, bang, back of the net. So check your positions now, please. Rotherham against Hull, got the equaliser. So let's have a look at this one. Come on. It was coming, wasn't it? And boy, was it coming. This is where these in-play stats feeds can really pay off, can't they? And you're getting near enough a full return. So do check your positions. I'll just tell them. Hull have equalised, so do check your positions. So if you want to get out here, make sure that liability is negated. Pick up your small greens. They soon add up to 100 plus quid, and off you go. So we've got some goals coming in. Just want to double check on these. Charlton Athletic, Lincoln didn't have an opinion. Gills, well, got the equaliser against Swindon. I think, did we play that or didn't we? I can't remember. No. Match odds? No. It was certainly on the watch list, wasn't it? It was an odds on favourite, because that's why it's come up here. Now you've got the Hull equaliser. That's why we do this odds on list. It's very useful, isn't it? It's a nice way of generating a trading angle without doing any research. As you can see, we haven't done any research here at all.
Market has been suspended.
But to be honest, we have got to know these sides quite well over the weeks, haven't we? So we get rid of a few. You've got a Desmond, Norwich and Watford as well. And I was a bit gutted there. I was mentioning Norwich, the possibility at 2.05 to have laid them leading 2-0, because that's not in keeping with the market expectation. And Salford and Donny's another one of those lay the draws, but it's come a little bit too early. But this could be a match to lay Doncaster again, if you can trust 19th against 20th, because this lot have had a 2-2, haven't they, recently? 2-3 against Crewe. I think they came from behind. They were 2-1 down at half time. 3-1 against Wrexham. 2-1 lead at half time. A 1-1 against Swindon. But Doncaster, 2-1 win against Tranmere. And prior to that, they failed to score that second goal. So this has a possibility, certainly. As I say, a bit like Forest Green, you get to know some of these sides. And Salford, under the new manager, have been quite good. But don't forget, it is a relegation 6-pointer. My main angle was to lay that draw. And well done to Hull. Now you can get out with 100% gain if you went into the match odds market. Brilliant stuff from Hull. Exactly what you were hoping for. If you went match odds, get out now. Let's just see that they desperately need the points. Looks like they're going down. There we go. Get out now. Get out now. You could have stayed in at the 1-1 because it's only a £4.85 loss and the insurance loss. So it's not a big loss at all. So that's excellent. That's more like it. And it's 2-2, Leyton Orient and Northampton. Is that going to be another draw ending in Leyton Orient's favour? I'm not wholly interested in this one. I was only interested in the goal before half time, to be honest with you. Don't have a strong opinion about these two. I don't think they were odds on favourites. So we can get that off the watch list. That match is done and done. Just looking at Birmingham Blackburn, as I say, if that's 0-0 coming to the 85th minute, the need for points and the lack of time remaining will be great. Salford and Doncaster, I don't know if you wanted to play this one again. We should have done it in the first instance. Let's have a look at Salford and Donny. So as ever, I go up the it's going to cost a little bit much, but Salford +1 should be 3.4 or something, 3.15. So it's up to you. The only other way is to go match odds. That keeps your liability very, very low indeed. And if you want to keep your liability even lower, just back the side rather than delay, because this will eat into your liability. If you're, as I say, if you're a bit squeamish about this league, just do it this route. That for me is a far lower liability. You've still got a look in. That's wrong, by the way. I'm not doing a stop loss, so I'll just try that again. So back Salford, and if we get a quick equaliser, because they desperately need to pick up points and they are at home, those odds of 18.5 are going to drop markedly. And it's a nice low odds route of getting involved in the actual match. More goals coming in. Oxford United at 3, Wigan 1. I think 77 minutes on the clock. We can say goodbye to that one. Pompey, I wish I'd laid that draw. They were well up for that, weren't they? Stevenage Bristol Rovers was a Desmond. If you got involved straight away, I would have looked for Stevenage to get the win. We've got more goals coming in. Just check on them. And Leyton Orient have ended that Desmond 2-2 again. So if you followed that pattern throughout the match, you'd have gone all the way through there. Sutton and Wrexham, I don't have an opinion there. So Birmingham and Blackburn, as I say, 85th minute is your target. And when you're using Football 24, if you had enough of the match and you don't want to learn any more, just untick these boxes so you won't get alerted unnecessarily. I don't think we'll get any change out of Newport County, alas, today. Gillingham and Swindon, did we get that equaliser? We did, didn't we? And I didn't play that one, so that's a pity. Salford and Donny, well, we were looking at laying that draw, weren't we? So if you did lay the draw, you'll see it's not probably going to be one of those flatliners where the wrong team has scored. Desmond at Norwich and Watford has ended if you took the Desmond 2-2 on. And I suppose at this stage of the season, take on more of these Desmonds because of the need. You've scored 2 goals against your opponent, you can score a third. The opponent will be saying the same thing. And if they need points as well, if it's a Desmond in a promotion playoff place or a relegation threatened place, go for it. I'm going to get rid of this Leipzig-Real Madrid match because I'm not going to play it. Could play the second leg when you actually have something to work with form-wise rather than the first leg. So new manager, of course, after Wayne Rooney, football genius, left them. So that's Birmingham and Blackburn. So we've got a suspended market. It could be one of our matches. So I can delay on the Birmingham match and just look at this. Oh well. Maybe not delay on the Birmingham match. I was 8 minutes too early, I'm afraid. But if you did want to lay that draw at odds on, by all means wait. I like to wait a long way. You don't necessarily have to do that yourself. You can get involved at any time that you fancy it. But you get the idea with these draws, don't you? I hope you get the idea. You're going to see this throughout February, March, and especially the relegation threatened sides who can escape the bottom 3. That's a caveat. With a win, get involved and lay these draws. So this one's come in, as you can see. I was waiting a little bit longer, about 8 minutes time, but didn't come in. Wow. Now, are you going to are you going to lay the draw here, Leyton Orient? If you'd have been following Leyton Orient whenever they're drawing or losing, then they just keep scoring. So again, you can just place a little play in here. I've spelt Mr. Leyton. Okay. So we have a look at the Leyton Orient Northampton match. 3-3. So they've come from behind twice. So if that draws gets short enough, you need to see the gap between this and this shorten. So if you wanted to lay that draw, it is alive and ready for you. Try to get as late as you can, or you can do it now, as you've seen. If you play now or you play early, you'll get the goal between the time I want to play and I might miss it, you see. So that could be an option for you, getting involved before the 1.25 or straight away. So that's gone the good way. This is exact stats, so I'm not sure we'll see the draw end there. And Salford and Donny was going to be another lay the draw, wasn't it, which has already come in. Gillingham 2, Swindon 1. So there we go. The favourite has come from behind there, so I can unpack that one. Will Stevenage be looking for an equaliser? As we know, they're on the cusp of the promotion playoff places. They are 1.75 pre-match favourites. Drip lay at 1.25 perhaps, Bristol Rovers, because the clock's not your friend. And we were expecting really something from the home side. So let's have a look. So Stevenage and Bristol Rovers. If it gets to 1.25, you can even place the plays now. But as I've said, I've missed a few of these profits by waiting too long. If 1.36 is low enough for you, get involved by all means. I could show you it anyway. show you just a slight increase in liability, even with just a 0.1 move from 1.25 to 1.35. So that's the first one. So we've got a foot in there now. I'll probably go to 1.3 would be an obvious another one. See, that's adding another £1.50, so we're already doubling up. We're near to the full liability of my 1.25s. So we start our 1.25 journey after that for a fiver. Then it's a bit unresponsive today because I've got all of these virtual private servers up. 1.19, lay again. 1.14. Don't forget, it doesn't have to be a fiver. You can do it whatever you're comfortable with. 1.09. Stick that up to 11 quid because that keeps you under a quid liability. Hopefully that'll get going. Come on. It's just the internet is labouring today. There we go. And then the last one is the 1.06. Ah, this could be an advert for what I was saying. You might want to get involved a little bit earlier, because otherwise you get more out of it. If indeed it is. No, it looks like a false alarm. So 1.06 for the whole 16, and we can leave that match now, and if we get an equaliser for Stevenage, we're up and running. They'll have motivation. Bristol City 2, Saints 0. Oh boy. Well, I'll have to take that as a hit. Simple as that. They've broken one of their key patterns against the top sides. So I have to take the hit, I'm afraid. It'll be compensated for elsewhere. Can't do nothing about that. Was it a penalty, I wonder? Southampton will have to do us a solid and score at least a goal. That'll give you a possibility of getting some of your money back. It's just one of those. It's the luck of the draw, really. It's a tricky one. Both sides in desperate need of points, and they just had a goal disallowed. So I'm walking on thin ice here. I do need it to remain 1-2 or 2-2. So we're in with Stevenage and Bristol Rovers. Fleetwood and Reading, I don't have an opinion there, so I'll get rid of that. We've got the insurance on that one as well, I think, with that own goal for the Shrews, but it looks a very quiet match. 59th and 73rd minute shots on target for Barnsley. Sutton and Wrexham were not playing, so I don't need any updates on that anymore. So work our way down. We've got that 3-3 Leyton Orient. If you wanted that, it's getting to 1.22. That's rather nice. So if you're getting to that stage, and we've already had that history of them coming from behind, so we can have a look at that one. As you can see, we're starting to move down to 1.25 now for Bristol Rovers. Is it Stevenage? I think. Yeah, Stevenage and Bristol Rovers. No, that's the one we're already on. I just lost my bearings. Leyton Orient. Yes, that's the one. It'd probably be best to write Northampton so they don't misspell. So just waiting for that to load. So this is a draw well worth taking on later on, isn't it? You've seen everything that's happened, and it's perfect start. 1.25, and down 1.19, and down again 1.14, and then down again 1.09 to win £11. And get that on, and then 1.06 to win 16. So we'll get any possibility of this pattern continuing. 1-0, 1-1, 2, 1-2, 2-2, 1-3, 3-3. So 2-3, 3-3. And now, is it going to be 4-3? So we've got the insurance plays in there.
Market has been suspended.
Well, Milton Keynes Dons have put in a good performance, but we're not going to get our money today, alas. That's why you lay at 101. You're not expecting to get a result, but it would be nice. I've only had 2 101s come in ever, so we can get rid of that, I think. So we're coming to the end of the stream now, just waiting for the matches to finalise. Any late plays, possible late goals, for example, Leyton Orient and Stevenage potentially, and Salford. As I say, if these were draws, this would be where you get involved. We're running out of time. We need to win. So let's go for it, basically. So those are the only ones we're really just looking at the end of the match. Bolton 2, Wycombe 0. No great interest there. Norwich have really ended the Desmond. So it's been quite a good session. These lower leagues have been excellent, really, over Christmas. And without research as well, you can still do your trading. That's the Bolton lead, is it? There we go. Salford City 2, Doncaster 2. Excellent. Let's have a look at that. Perfect. So that's one of them captured. So let's have a look at the nice green screen. I think, did it go match odds? Yeah. So, what a pity. I need the win. I thought I went +1, but that must have been with Stevenage, wasn't it? It was the other S side. So you're seeing an evens return. It's all relative to the amount you've risked your return. Now, a winning goal, and you're at the kind of stage where you can start laying the draw as well if you weren't involved at 1.25 and lower, because of the need for a win. So we're finally poised. You could have laid Doncaster and backed Salford as well, but as I said, I was a bit worried, so I just backed Salford. But if you laid, you'd be seeing a nicer profit, because the lay of Doncaster would have covered the draw, wouldn't it? So that's an excellent one. Birmingham we can get rid of. We got rid of the draw. That's what counted. Shrews and Barnsley, well done to Stephen. Fabulous. Great call from Stephen there. Well done, Stephen. Brilliant. So we can just check out the Stevenage match. Or the Shrewsbury match, sorry. Let's go to the Shrewsbury. Thanks for passing that on, Stephen. That was excellent. So it's +1, wasn't it? So let's have a look. Barnsley +1. We'll get there eventually. So that's a really good return. Excellent. I would caution you to get out, because they've had a bit of a struggle, haven't they, to get that goal. And Shrewsbury, I think, are in the wrong end of the table. So do cash out. And that's one's care of Stephen. So that's excellent. Thanks for doing your work there. It's a nice end. We were just waiting to see if Stevenage can do it now. The other S team got the Barnsley goal. So that's excellent.
This market has been suspended.
Nothing doing from Saints. We could do with a goal from Saints. That's the only thing that would get us any money back. So we'll have a look on that. We're waiting for a Barrow goal as well, but we've got the 1-2 covered. Got the 1-2 covered. Going in again. Barrow and Forest Green. But they've done a very good performance today, Forest Green. Only the one shot on target for Barrow, as you can see. That was a Desmond, Tranmere and Morecambe. I didn't really pay attention to that one. But if you did get that one, well done. So we've just got one more to come in, I think. Just waiting to see if anything happens with Stevenage. Possible Salford winner. That would be a really big return. And a possible Barrow equaliser. So we're right at the death knell of these. So I'll just start closing down now, because it's very late where I am. We'll keep that up just for the matches of interest.
This market has been suspended.
That's 3-0 now for Bristol City. So the defensive part of their game superb tonight. Carry on being very tough to beat. But this is a worry for Saints. They conceded against Huddersfield, didn't they? There we go. Leyton Orient and Northampton is in. Let's see how much we made there. Leyton Orient. Let's see how much we won. How much got matched? Oh, just a little bit. But it's a good risk return, isn't it? That's about 4-1. If you've got a higher stake, well done. So that was an excellent result there. And the Bristol City we can say bye-bye to. So excellent. So we're getting to the end. Just got to Barrow and Stevenage. If I could do the final whistle, because I could do with the sleep.
This market has been suspended. This market.
That's probably the end of the matches. As we can see, there's that Barrow one, didn't end, but you got the second play covered. So I'll say goodnight to you now. I think we're finishing there. Thanks very much for attending. Thanks for your input as well. And I'll see you all again very soon.